Konnichiwa, hello, my name is Miki and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be reviewing the HALEYS Reinvent BB Drops. Now this is Tinted Marula Face Oil and yeah, we're just gonna test this out. And I also have the HALEYS Revive Concealer Cream. So we're gonna be testing both of these out. I'm gonna be doing a wear test and all that good stuff. Now if you're new here or you enjoy my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when I upload my videos. And as always, my disclaimer: if you are super sensitive to profanity or if you are easily offended, this is definitely not the place for you. I am a no filter bitch and I have no idea what's gonna come out of this potty mouth, so keep that in mind while you're watching. So if you guys are interested in some HALEYS BB drops and some concealer, then just stay tuned. Okay, so it has been a very long week for me. I apologize that it wasn't a video last Tuesday. It was just hell in this house. I'm in my room, and again, I've moved because my room is completely empty except for my vanity, my dresser, and this whole setup that I have right now. But other than all of this, there is nothing in my room, so you might hear a little bit of like an echo. Something else that happened is my husband and I got a new car. We got a Hyundai Santa Fe. I am absolutely in love with it. I've never owned a car this nice. It has like heated seats, heated steering wheel. It lets you know when people are in your blind spot. Like, it's just the whole nine, and I fucking love it. The other thing that happened, as you can see, I chopped off all my hair because it was getting a little ridiculous. The ends were just so dead, and I believe I cut off the rest of my blonde bleached hair when I had like purple hair, and so I feel like my hair looks a lot more healthy. I just love it because this is a lot more easy for me to maintain while all this hectic shit is going on in my life. Today we're here to review the HALEYS Reinvent BB Drops, and this is a tinted marula face oil. Now I have been seeing this from one of my favorite YouTubers, which is Taylor Wynn. She's actually kind of the one who made me buy this because I've been watching her videos for years now, and she has raved about this for a while, so I figured why not test it out. Packaging unicarton is very basic, just a black unicarton. Now this is the Reinvent BB Drops, and this retails for $22. Now the one thing about this I do not like is that there is only 6 pitiful shades. Like, there is no shade range to this at all. The shade that I got is Fair Cool, which is of course the lightest shade. Here is the component, the package, and I really like it. I don't know if this is plastic. I think it's plastic, and this part right here in the middle is like really squishy. I think that's so you can like get some of the product out, but I'm just gonna give this a really good shake because I know this is definitely one of those ones you're gonna have to shake, and it also has that ball in there that's gonna get the product going. It says that this is a weightless super fluid BB drops, giving skin sheer coverage for an effortless no makeup look with a healthy looking glow. Now for $22, this is 0.60 fluid ounces. A normal foundation is regularly 1 fluid ounce, so this is like almost half of or a little bit more than half of a foundation. Now for the coverage, it says that it's sheer, the finish is luminous, formulation is BB liquid, skin type, it's good for normal, combination, oily, and dry. I'm really not a fan of like foundations or tinted drops or whatever that are for all skin types because normally they don't work very well on my skin because, again, super duper freaking dry. Now it says it comes in 6 shades that are profoundly flattering and flexible, complementing a wide range of skin tones with effortless coverage and a glowing finish. So I don't know if like the darkest shade on here is supposed to complement like a little bit lighter, a little bit darker. I'm not sure how this works. Now when I was looking at the how to use, like the directions on how to use this, it's saying to shake well and blend the drops outward with hands. I am not a hand makeup spreader person. I don't like spreading makeup with my hands. So I have already prepped and primed my face. Now I'm not exactly sure how I want to apply this. Like, do I want to apply this with a brush? Do I want to apply this with a sponge? So again, like most of my foundation reviews, I'm going to go in with both. And this time I am going to use my flat top kabuki brush instead of the Sigma Air one that I've been using because I do want a little bit more coverage, and I do have to go grocery store shopping today, so I'm also going to be testing this out wearing it with a mask. We're just going to go ahead and put this on the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple drops. I don't know exactly like how far this is gonna go, but it's extremely liquidy. Look at that. It's just like, whoop. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of dot this along my face. Now I'm gonna take my flat top kabuki brush that I got from Amazon. This is like one of my favorite brushes. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out. Okay, wow. Wow, already accentuating all the dryness on my face, which is not a good thing because nobody wants their dryness, you know, really accentuated. No one wants to show that side of their skin. So I have this blended out and I honestly cannot stand it already because again, it's accentuating like all the dryness here on the bottom part, like where my chin is. And mind you, I exfoliated, I moisturized, I did all the stuff that you need to do to get rid of dryness, yet this is showing a lot of it. It's literally clinged on to like every single dry patch that I have. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take my Real Technique sponge that I have here, and I'm just gonna kind of blend out what I have left on my face, which really isn't much. Now when this says that it's sheer coverage, it's definitely sheer coverage. Like it's not really adding much coverage to my face at all. Look at that. I have no coverage at all. Like I need some kind of coverage, if that makes sense. Like even if it's just your skin but better type of deal, you know, where it's like super sheer coverage but it kind of transforms your skin. It makes your skin look better. And I'm just really not seeing that here, especially with just the amount that I put on. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this another good shake because I don't know, did I not shake it enough, or maybe it's just this kind of foundation. I have no idea. I need to stop calling it a foundation because I'm pretty sure these are, yeah, these are BB drops. So they're gonna have a lot less coverage than a foundation. I know I kept saying foundation and expecting more coverage, but we already know that there's really not that much coverage that's gonna come from this guy. It's not even that there's no coverage, it's just not doing anything for my skin. And I feel like even though that this is labeled as a BB cream, it should do something because I didn't want to spend $22 on something that's really not gonna do anything for my skin at all. If that's the case, I could just put on my baking oil and leave the house. Now that I have an extra couple of dots that I added to my face, this looks so much better. Look at that. Oh my God, it looks so much better than the drops that I had on before, which obviously was not enough. This just looks much, much better, especially blended out with a sponge rather than a brush. I think that might be the reason why my dryness is so accentuated, because I used the brush. And a lot of times when you use a brush, it kind of catches on to your dryness and deposits the foundation in those little flaky, what do you call it? Just like the flakiness of that dry area on your skin. And so I definitely recommend using this with a sponge instead of a brush. Now I'm going to scoot in closer so you guys can actually see where the dryness is and the difference between the sponge side and the brush side. And then after I zoom out, I'm going to put some more on the brush side, if that makes sense. So here is the side I put on with the brush. And as you can see, it has just latched on to like all the dryness that I have on the side of my nose, right here in my smile lines, and right here in this chin area where I have quite a bit of texture. Still working on this. It comes and goes every single like week. 1 week I have it, 1 week I don't have texture. And then on this side where we applied most of it with a sponge, it just looks so much better, so much prettier, a lot more kind of blended into the skin. I have this weird patch here. Oh, I think I just didn't blend that out. Also, the brush application does not give me as much coverage as the sponge application. So I am now gonna go ahead and apply a couple more drops here on this side. This texture and this dryness, girl, it will not go away, especially with the way the weather has been lately. I hope, by the way, that everyone has their fucking power back, especially like in the southern area. I honestly did not understand why you would try to conserve energy at a time like this. Like when it's super fucking cold, the South never goes through like this kind of weather that we have up north, and then you decide to conserve energy. Like now's not the time to be conserving anything because people are literally freezing to death. So I got this all nicely blended out, and I definitely feel like the sponge is the way to go. It just looks so much better on the skin. I have some dry, crusty skin in my nose ring here. That's kind of gross. Sorry about that. Now we're gonna go in with the Revive Concealer Cream. Now I have a feeling this is gonna be a lot more coverage than the BB drops, but we're about to find out. Now I got this in the shade Fair Neutral. And ooh, okay, this looks a lot promising. This looks very, very pale friendly. This retails for $15 and there is 12 shades. Now, why is there 12 shades in the concealer but not in the BB cream? I have no fucking clue. But this looks like it has a lot of great reviews. Now, it says it is a lightweight natural concealer cream offering natural, buildable coverage for all day wear. The coverage is labeled as buildable. Finish is demi-matte formulation cream. This is good for normal, combination, and oily skin types. So your dry bitch here may not work very well on this. It does say that this concealer is made to work with your foundation. I'm not exactly sure what that means because every single foundation out there is different in coverage, consistency, finish, all that stuff. And it says that it provides additional coverage where it needs to give skin a smooth, even tone. This creamy, lightweight vegan concealer offers natural, buildable coverage that erases all signs of tired eyes and brightens the complexion. It is a oil-free concealer, so any of you guys who are oily girls or guys out there. And it also helps to hide the appearance of blemishes and imperfections, including fine lines and wrinkles. There is so much information just on the concealer. It's kind of crazy because the foundation did not have this much information. Okay, so it's just a regular doe foot applicator like any other concealer I've tried, and I actually really don't like the opening for this because it is so tight that I can just see this getting extremely messy very fast, very easily. I'm only going to use this much because I don't know how this is going to be, and I'm going to take my little mini Real Technique sponge and we just gonna dab, dab, dab. Now, this is kind of like a little bit thicker consistency than the BB drops. Not by much, though. It is very liquidy as well. That basically, like, did absolutely nothing for me. So I have a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm gonna take a little extra here on the sponge and see if we can actually build this up. Now, one thing I'm noticing with the BB cream or the BB drops and the concealer, if you put it on the skin and let it sit there, it separates. It's so strange. I've never seen any kind of product do that before, so I'm a little like kind of freaked out by that. Also, this is just really not giving me much coverage at all. You can see there's a little bit of coverage here in the mid area, but in this front part where I have, you know, sunken eyes and a lot of my veins popping through, like the color of my veins, it's really not covering that much. Now I'm going to add some concealer here and I'm just going to let it sit so I can show you guys what it's doing. Also to see if we can get a little bit more coverage because it is sitting there. Now other conventional like normal concealers, if you let it sit, it gets a little bit thicker and you get a little bit more coverage. At least that's how most concealers work. With this one, I'm not really sure how it's gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna get thicker, if it's gonna give me more coverage. That's why we're doing this video. So I have my hand up because the light is kind of shining onto the part that I wanna show you guys. But if you can see right there, like towards the front, as soon as I start turning my head slowly, you can see where it's starting to separate. Do you see that? There's like a lot of bubbliness, and that's not my skin. That's the actual concealer being really weird and like almost wanting to separate. Like I'm not exactly sure what that is. It's almost like oil and water trying to be mixed together, but it did say that this is an oil-free concealer. So I honestly don't know what's going on with that. But okay, so when you leave it on, it almost kind of like stains your eyes. I don't want to say stain because of course this is probably going to come off later on, but the part where I left it on is like now in my skin. Like that part just became very light. I am going to try this again. I'm going to add just a little bit more here on this side because for some reason we just is not getting no coverage. See, there it goes again. It's so strange. If I blend too much, it starts taking away the coverage of everything else. Do you guys see that? I have coverage underneath my eyes, but no coverage over here whatsoever. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like no matter how much I blend, it just does not want to go past this little under eye area like at all. So I don't know what that's all about, but we're just going to put some more concealer on this side because we are missing That has a, it's like a slight paint smell. Like, okay, a long time ago, you know the Wet n Wild photo focus? I used to use that way back when they were still actually considered cruelty free and they weren't lying to everybody about it. And that one had a very strong paint smell. This one is a little bit more faint than that, but it's there. Like, if you smell it, it actually smells like paint. So I don't know what's going on with that. What ingredient in these complexion products actually make it smell like that? I always wonder. This concealer said it works well with the foundation. It's actually just taking the foundation off. So I don't know where they got that from. Also here, it's really patchy. You can see I have absolutely no coverage starting from here up. But all over here, I have coverage. It's brightened, looks great. But this little thing here, I just cannot get any coverage there. Look at that. It just takes it off. Like, what the fuck is going on? You guys, I'm absolutely hating this BB cream and the concealer. The concealer more than anything, I hate it. I despise it. I can't fucking stand it with this BB drops. Of course, I'm going to try it with other types of foundations and different kind of powder products and all that good stuff. Again, it might be because of the primer that I used. It is an oil-based primer, so I am going to have to try it with my tried and true Smashbox Primerizer and see if it works better with that kind of moisturizing primer, if that makes sense. I'm hoping that as the hours go on, my face will look a lot better. Now, I want to call it the check-in time. I have been blabbing now for 20 extra minutes than when the foundation went on, and it is 2:27. So I'm going to call the check-in time 2:05. I'm going to do the rest of this dry, crusty face, and I will be right back. So I got the rest of my face done, and I'm just going to leave it at, I fucking hate this BB drops, this concealer. I also did set my face. By the way, everything that I used will be listed in the description box below, but I did set my face, and the areas that I set were only this area here. If you guys have been here for a while, you will know that I typically try to wear my foundations for at least 6 hours. Anything beyond that is just lucky because either I fell asleep or I forgot that I was wearing foundation. So I always leave myself at least a minimum of 6 hour time wear, and the check-in time once again is 2:05. So I'm gonna get my ass out the door before this snow comes, and I will see you guys in my first check-in. So I haven't quite left the house yet because I wanted to share with you guys kind of what's going on in natural lighting while I still have some daylight left. I have so much dryness and texture, and this is the side where I originally started with a brush, and this is the side where I ended up with a sponge. And it's just, I don't know what is going on, but it just loves all the dry patches. I'm noticing now in natural light that there's really no concealer under this eye. Under this eye, you can tell how patchy it is. Honestly, if we weren't wearing masks right now, I would not leave the house with this. This is fucking embarrassing. It's really just gross, and it's accentuating everything that you normally would not accentuate on or want accentuated on your face. And I just honestly cannot stand this BB drop foundation, whatever the hell it's called. I honestly don't even care at this point. I fucking hate it. I hate the way it feels. I hate the way it looks. It's so patchy under my eyes. Honestly, I hate it. Like, I cannot stand these BB drops or this concealer. It's gathering already around my mouth. It's just a hot fucking mess. So the time is now 5:18, so I've been wearing this for a little over 3 hours, and I still hate it. I cannot stand this foundation, drops, tint, whatever it is. I still have all this dryness, but it's subsided a little bit because I can feel my face actually pushing oil through, like trying to push the oil through. And so as you can see here where I didn't set, it's starting to separate and break down. And the entire time I was wearing my mask, I just could not shake the feeling that this started separating, and it has in a lot of spaces. It's also rubbed off on this area entirely. You can see like where my mask kind of folded, and so this area here has like little to no BB drops. I will say my forehead looks pretty damn good for how much I hate these BB drops. It is creasing just a little bit right here, but that's normal because that's my frown line. And my head does look a lot oilier than usual. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna continue wearing this for the rest of the night. I am gonna go do the rest of my chores, all the things that I need to do, and then I'll see you guys in my last check-in. So time is now 7:45. I have been wearing these BB drops foundation. I keep wanting to call it a foundation, but they're BB drops. These BB drops have been on my face for 5.5 hours. I cannot make it to the 6-hour mark because I really just want to take this shit off. It feels so uncomfortable. It's separating, it's breaking down all over my face. I really can't stand the feel of this. First thing is first. I hate this concealer. I have never had this mascara be like transferred onto the bottom eye area this fast and this much. The reason why I have a top 5 concealer like collection, which by the way I did a video on that, so I'll leave it in the eye up here if you guys want to check that out. It's my top 5 concealers for dry skin. None of those concealers have ever let me down, and they've never done this to my mascara. Normally whenever you get mascara transfer like this, it's because your concealer is either not set or your concealer is moving around, so it's still kind of wet, if that makes sense. And so when your mascara touches it, it's going to smudge and budge. I'm definitely going to have to try this concealer with other foundations, of course, or maybe just on a no makeup day. As for this foundation, I absolutely despise it. I cannot stand it. It is breaking down, making my face feel extremely oily. It's like my face is so dry and suffocated. It's like, help me, I need some hydration. And it's just pushing out all this oil on my face. Around my nose, I have so much dryness. This is a lot more dryness than I had in the beginning of this video. I don't know if this is like sucking the moisture out of my skin, because it did say that there are some hydrating properties in this foundation. The only thing about this foundation that I even slightly remotely like is that it made my forehead look really, really good. And my forehead is normally pretty dry, especially here in between my brows. This little crease here on my chin happens with every foundation that I've ever encountered, so that is not the BB drops fault, it is my skin. But all this other stuff that it's doing, I just cannot stand it. Look at that. You can actually see, like, look at how large my potholes look in certain lighting, because it just accentuates all of your pores, and I really can't stand this. Again, I'm gonna have to try it with a different primer, because might be the Makeup Revolution baking oil, because that is a straight up oil, and maybe I shouldn't have used that for my first impressions, because normally I do use the Smashbox primerizer. So I think that tomorrow I'm gonna be doing a few things around the house, and I'll probably slap on the Smashbox primerizer first and then try more of these BB drops, because I really do want to like this product, because I love how light it feels when it goes onto the skin. So I honestly think that it's because I put oil on first rather than just a regular primer. So I'm going to try that out. Hello. It is now the next morning, and I put the BB drops on again. Ooh, my brows be looking a little off. This one's darker. But I wanted to share with you guys that today I used a different primer. I used my Smashbox primerizer. And as you can see, it's still pretty bad, like the dryness, but the sides of my nose are not as terrible as yesterday when I tried the BB drops for the first time. Although the concealer didn't give me as much coverage as I would like, it worked so much better today. It wasn't lifting off. And so I think my mistake was that I used a oil primer, and this just does not go with oil. So I would say stick with a more hydrating, just regular lotiony type of primer. I am extremely dry today, and I'm the same dryness as I was yesterday, but it's not accentuating as much like on the sides of my nose. But the reason why I just don't like this BB drops is because it's accentuating my dryness, and I have other foundations that don't do this. So yeah, my final thoughts on this is that I just don't think it's made for extremely dry, dehydrated skin, and I'm just not going to be able to really use this product until my skin gets a little bit more better or hydrated. It's just not ideal with all this. Now, luckily we're wearing masks, so you can't really see like this area, but I don't know. I feel like I have foundations that would look much better than this. And this is just BB drops. So I don't know. I'm just gonna have to say that this is a no-go for your girl here. No, this is a fail. And yeah, at this point. I just don't recommend it for extremely dry skin because you guys saw the texture, the dryness, all that nasty stuff. And so I do not recommend this if you are in the same dryness category as your girl here. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, please get a thumbs up and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when I upload my videos. And as always, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, comments, or if you simply want to talk shit, leave it on in the comment section below. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!